prepared remarks. I've been known to have a few from time to time. My name is Jason Welge. I am Uncle Bill's nephew. My father, Don Welge, passed away more than a few years ago at this point, and also had Parkinson's as well. There are a couple of points and themes that I want to express, and I don't want to be subtle or literary about them. I will be quoting one of Uncle Bill's favorite poems, Hokusai Says, and using his points throughout. Please look up the poem. It is how he intently lived his life. Otherwise, you'll hear a random quote. It's from that poem. Also, when I reflect on the influence Bill has had on my life, it strikes me how much of an influence he's had on who I am. And there's only 5 people that had that kind of impact. We're talking about Grandma. We're talking about Dad, Uncle Fred, Aunt Susie, and Uncle Bill. 5 people. We're talking about how I speak, how I think critically about the world. The pipes of books I read are books I think Uncle Bill would read. All this from me listening to everything Bill would ever talk about. But the takeaway isn't about all the things he said, but how every time I talked, I felt heard. What a tremendous gift for an awkward kid. I felt heard by my Uncle Bill whenever I spoke. He didn't talk at you because he liked to hear himself speak. He spoke about the things he thought about. He thought about the things he cared about. He spoke about the things he cared about. Most importantly, he spoke the most passionately to the people he cared about. He listened and spoke because he cared. How marvelous and rare that is. You can't replicate that on social media or politics. But he never turned down a soapbox. He would not stand up here and tell him his life story, memories, and no matter how precious those are, he would preach about the benefits of vitamin C, power walking, hanging upside down, grounding, weightlifting, and the joys of having a basement. I started taking high-dose vitamin C in high school at the urging of Dr. Welge, and have been ever since. It is the only supplement I have consistently taken my entire adult life. I read a book that Bill recommended called Spontaneous Healing by Dr. Andrew Welge, and he and Bill both recommended vitamin C. During the most stressful times in my life, when I was doing my best to change the world, I would buy at wholesale packets of liposylic vitamin C from Uncle Bill. And I didn't dilute that vile orange concentrate with water like the packet suggested. No, I licked those packets clean. I honestly don't know if vitamin C has done anything past placebo for me. I do know too high of a dose causes diarrhea. The lesson for me is to take an interest in your health. Read more than just the latest fad and be consistent and persistent in what you choose. Hokusai says, look carefully, pay attention, notice, stay curious. Some of my earliest memories of Bill visiting the farm were him walking up and down the lane, swinging low-weight dumbbells aggressively as he walked with purpose. Kathy shares that their neighbors would see him walking with hands over his head with weights on wrists called heavy hands. Some people who focus on health advocate for extreme sports and for no pain, no gain mentalities. Bill schooled us on the importance of low-level movements for long periods of time. How healthy it is to be outside, to walk around, to look around, to get the blood flowing, move your arms. No need for expensive gym memberships that I'm too intimidated to use. over expensive home equipment to hang my partially dirty clothes on. What a blessing it is to be able to walk on 2 feet. Hokusai says to look forward to getting old. Bill teaches us that a measure of health is the ability to move and enjoy it, because it is not guaranteed as we get older. Does anyone else remember how excited and proud Bill was when he brought his anti-gravity swing to the farm for the first time? How he made everyone take a turn on it, strapping them in and swinging them on their head. He would talk about blood movement and blood pooling, and I don't remember all the benefits, to be honest. But his excitement for this piece of equipment and the knowledge it allowed him to impart to others and share physically was addictive. We are never too old for show and tell, are we? Hokusai says, everyone is a child. Everyone is ancient. Every one of us is frightened. What a frightening disease Parkinson's is. When I think about what scares me, all fears just disappear in comparison to the disease that afflicted Dad and Bill. Most of our fears are cover-ups to what really scares us. They both faced it with as much courage as they could muster. And with their loved ones by their sides, Kathy and Mom are true heroes. If they were face to face their fears, I will too. The first time I visited Bill and Kathy at their home in Lafayette, Bill had these sheets that you plugged into a grounded wall outlet or otherwise attached to a grounding rod outside. How disconnected we must be to nature and to the farm to compel us to plug into the ground in such a way. I have never done this, so I won't preach directly to its benefit, but I do know how sick I get when I go long periods of time without visiting the farm, when I don't go on a walk outside, when I'm outside with my shoes off and people are surprised, oh, I'm just grounding. Hokusai says water is alive. Everything has its own life. He says live with the world inside you. He says live with the world inside you. How do you make advice like live with the world inside you practical? You buy grounding sheets, obviously. Bill invented the phrase, link is in the description below. When I visited Uncle Bill in early November, his memory on things was very thin. He remembered Grandma's phone number on the farm and tried to call her, then remembered he couldn't, but couldn't remember how long ago, etc. I walked over to the bookshelf and started asking about the different titles, and his memory wasn't foggy for those. It was the Bill I have always known. One book in particular his memory was clear on, and that's the Barbell Prescription, Strength Training for Life After 40. He talked about Greg giving him that book and how it changed his life. Books can change your life. Gifts to others can change their lives too. Hokusai says, it doesn't matter if you write books, it matters that you care. It isn't the book that matters, it is the caring. Does anyone here not know the story about Bill digging a basement under his house while living in the house and not moving the house first? Who here told him not to do it when he was just talking about it? Kathy talks about their walks around the neighborhood before he dug the basement, and they would talk about the different houses, especially when they were for sale, and the biggest judge of worthiness was if they had a basement or not. Bill and Kathy were the first family members I came out to right after Dad died. As Brendan and I pulled up, Bill was standing at the window, and it was nighttime so I could see the silhouette. But I didn't see Bill's slender form. I saw Dad's pear shape. Brendan and I went in, and we went straight to the basement and heard the whole basement story in so many details. And we played ping pong. There is nothing more nostalgic and Welge than a heated ping pong match. He worked hard for the things he wanted, and he enjoyed the fruits of his labor. Hokusai says, satisfaction and strength is life living through you. I am leaving so much out by talking about vitamin C and basements. Kathy was telling me how big music was early in their relationship and less so later on. Bill would say, if you have music in your life, never let it go. One time I was visiting Bill while I was in college, and we went walking through the art stores in Lafayette, and he got into this heated argument with the clerk about McMansions. I don't remember ever seeing Bill angry with someone like that. It made me think of him as a Welge that day, and how Dad would get so angry at people for randomness, and how pissed off I can get at the silliest of offenses. If you ever hear me talk about meditation or New Age BS, or think of me as calm, it's all an attempt to rein in being a Welge. They aren't my stories to tell, but listen to Aunt Susie talk about Uncle Bill growing up. After hearing Cynthia talk about Uncle Fred and the poem Little Orphan Annie, and Lori mentioned to me the poem Hokusai Says, it hits. These are the same poems they shared with me. The same poems they shared with their children, they shared with their nephew. Thank you, Bill, for listening and hearing me. Thank you for being a stand-in to Dad. When it was time to come out to my family. Thank you, Bill, for playing ping pong with me, for showing me what it means to be a Welge. For better or worse. Thank you, Bill, for teaching me to be critical and to think for myself. Thank you, Bill, for caring even when it killed you. You are loved, and you are missed, and your impact on this world, on me, is eternal. Thank you.